You're listening to The Money Hour with your host, Tina Mitchell, on Alternative Talk, AM 1150. Now, back to the show with local mortgage and finance expert, Tina Mitchell.
Welcome back to the Mini Hour with your host and mortgage expert, Tina Mitchell, right here at 1150 AM KKNW, the Saturday, January 14th show. It's a great day to talk about money. That's why I'm here with you and what the show is all about, how to make money, save money, and build a better quality of life for you and your family. If you're hearing my show at a different time or day, you are listening to a rebroadcast, but I'm here to answer any questions that you have. Call the show at 1-855-400-1150. Again, that's 1-855-400-1150 or online at themoneyhour.com. I can also connect you with the guests that I have in studio today. And right now, Andy Landis, nationally known author, speaker, and my go-to guy on everything. Social Security, Medicaid, and Medicare. Today we're going to talk about Social Security, your Social Security, and income tax. Andy, thank you so much for coming back in studio.
Thank you. Great to be here.
And a little bit about Andy. One of the nation's foremost authorities on Social Security and Medicare as a nationally known author, speaker, and consultant. Andy is the author of the best-selling book, Social Security, The Inside Story, called the Social Security Bible and available from Amazon. He is a regular blogger for Wall Street Journal's Retirement Weeks, and he also appeared on the TV Fox Business News and PBS and is a frequent guest on radio, my show being one of them. And his background includes working for Social Security Administration, AARP, Boeing, and his own practice, Thinking Retirement. And he lives in Seattle with Kay, Cody Dog, keyboards, camper, computers, cars, and sometimes some kids. So let's get right down to it, Andy, and talk about Social Security and income taxes. Is your Social Security payments taxable income?
Good news, bad news kind of thing, Tina. You're getting your Social Security, which is good news, but it's possible that some of it is taxable. So most retirees do not pay income tax on their Social Security, but higher income retirees do pay income tax on part of their benefits. Mm-hmm. And we all want everybody to be a higher income retiree. So specifically, if your income is below $25,000 individual or $32,000 for a couple, your Social Security is not taxable, but those are pretty low thresholds. Mm-hmm. And even for higher income people, at least 15% of the Social Security is tax-free, Tina.
Yeah, and it's nice on the lending side. For those of my regular listeners, you know that's my expertise is mortgage. And when qualifying for a loan, you're actually able to gross that up when you're not paying taxes. So very nice for helping in your home purchase or refinance. So, Andy, is there a quick way to tell if Social Security is taxable?
Yeah, a little bit of math. There's just two steps. First, you add up three numbers that IRS calls your combined income. You take your gross income from the income section of your tax form. Then you add in non-taxable interest income, like from muni bonds. And then the third number is your countable Social Security, which is half of your Social Security. You put those three together, gross income, non-taxable interest, plus half of Social Security. And if those are over $25,000 individual or $32,000 couple, you got to pay income tax on some of your Social Security.
Got it. So does getting Social Security change the form that you're going to use to file your taxes, Andy?
You know, it can. That was a little known fact that I learned, that if you're used to the 1040EZ, it can't do Social Security. So kiss that one goodbye. But a 1040A or a regular 1040 will work, Tina.
Okay. So where do you post your Social Security on that tax form?
Well, it's in the income section on the 1040 that I'm familiar with. It's at the bottom of page 1. There's a little box for your Social Security. And it's one of those deals where there's two boxes. You put your Social Security amount in the left-hand box, then IRS sends you off on a 17-step computation, to figure out whether any of that goes in the right-hand box, and that's the part that would count. So it goes right there on line 14A on the 1040A or line 20 on the 1040, Tina.
Okay. And what dollar amount do you put in the Social Security box on the tax form?
That part's easy because Social Security sends you a tax form, SSA 1099, every year, and that shows the amount to post. Tina.
Okay. So let's talk about how to compute the amount that is taxable.
Do we have to?
Let's do it.
Okay.
Come on, Andy.
The taxable amount could be anywhere from 0 to 85% of your Social Security. And to determine the exact amount, there's IRS instructions on your tax form. And basically, if your combined income, that three-part computation we did before, is between $25,000 and $34,000 and you're an individual, then you're going to have to pay taxes on up to 50% of your Social Security. And if your combined income is over $34,000 as an individual, you're going to pay taxes on the full 85% of your Social Security. For couples, a little bit higher numbers, combined income $32,000 to $44,000 goes up to the 50% taxable point. And if it goes over $44,000, 85% taxable. Now, the IRS instructions, like I said, send you off on a 17-step computation to determine the exact amount, or do what I do. Stick it all on a computer and let the computer do the work, or take it to a CPA. Either way, all the computer programs know how to do that computation. And just one more note on that. I said up to 85% could be taxable.
Yes.
And a lot of people say, they're going to take away 85% of my Social Security? Hold on. That just means 85% of it will be included in your taxable income and taxed at your usual rate. 15%, at least 15% is always tax-free. So I call it tax advantaged.
Okay. So what about a way to prepay the taxes for next year without getting a big hit in April?
Good idea. I was just doing estimated taxes today. There's two ways to avoid that big hit. One, you could just make quarterly estimated tax payments to the IRS. And a lot of retirees, that's new if they're used to payroll deductions from their job.
Sure.
Now they might have to do quarterly estimated tax payments. Or, this is cool, you can have Social Security withhold federal taxes at any rate you say from your monthly payments. That makes April a lot easier.
Yeah. Okay. So where does the collected tax money go? Does the U.S. General Fund?
No, it's kind of cool. All that money goes back to Social Security. It goes in the Social Security Trust Fund, just like our payroll taxes do. And there's actually 3 income streams into Social Security. Payroll taxes are the big one. The second biggest one are interest they get on their investments. And then a little tiny 3% of their budget comes from these income taxes on Social Security benefits. So it does get plowed back to Social Security.
Nice.
Yeah.
So, Andy, I'd love it if you could share hopefully some tricks to reduce the tax.
Yeah, I'm not a financial planner or a tax guy, but I have a couple of ideas. First of all, think about what goes into that combined income. They take your gross income off your tax form, plus some other stuff. Well, withdrawals from a traditional IRA, which most people are living on in retirement, are included in deciding whether your Social Security is taxable, but withdrawals from a Roth IRA are not counted. So if you think about it, you could juggle. You could strategically juggle withdrawals from the two accounts to try to stay below those thresholds. Even if you can't stay below the 85% threshold, maybe you can keep it down to the 50% threshold and save thousands of dollars. And one way that I see people doing that, even if they're higher income, is called hopscotching, where you take the money out this year for 2 years out of your traditional IRA. The rest comes out of your Roth. Next year, you only make withdrawals up to the level that triggers Social Security taxation. The rest comes out of your Roth. So every other year you could dodge Social Security taxation, even if you can't dodge it every year.
So, and this is why it's so important, Andy, and thank you for sharing that, to really have the experts behind you in all areas regarding your finances. And again, that's what this show is about. It's about bringing experts in all areas. You representing this space, get with your CPA, your financial planner, and strategize, because there's a lot of money that can be saved by understanding how to utilize the options out there. So where can my listeners go to get more information, Andy?
A couple of good places. Social Security has an income tax page. You can either go to ssa.gov and just search for income tax. The long name is ssa.gov/planners/taxes, so you could look there. IRS has an awesome publication that covers all of this. It's actually almost readable. IRS
That's
publication.
surprising.
It is. IRS publication 915. And I cover it in general in my book, Social Security, The Inside Story, Tina.
Which you can get that on Amazon. So I encourage my listeners to do that. Andy, what other thoughts do you have to share with my listeners?
Well, first of all, on the tax front, remember that only part of the Social Security is taxable. For most people, it's completely tax-free. And for others, it's at least 15% tax-free. So you got to call it tax advantaged. And I didn't know, like you just said, that can help you when you're going for a home loan.
Yes.
That might be better to quote as an income source than, say, IRA withdrawals.
Yeah.
If you're going for the loan.
Yeah, and there is a lot of strategy when you're preparing and know that you're going to be doing a mortgage loan. But again, then talk to your mortgage expert, which would be myself, to help strategize to see that you really need those strategies, because you may not need that additional income, and it would make more sense for you to save it on your taxes. So, Andy, in this new year and things that are happening in Social Security arena, any changes or things that you're noticing that are happening for the new year?
Yeah, there's one funny number that went up quite a bit this year. Most of the numbers around Social Security only went up a fraction of a percent, the same as the raise on the benefits. But one number really shot up, and that was the amount that higher earners pay Social Security taxes on. Last year, it was $118,500.
Okay.
Where if you earn over that, you stop paying the FICA tax at that point. But this year, it jumped $9,000 to $127,200.
Wow.
So that might be a surprise later in the year as you approach that point. You might be thinking, hey, isn't it time to stop paying Social Security taxes? You're going to pay it a little longer this year.
Got it. So what can you share with my listeners in some common things that are happening where people are losing money, not understanding how things work when it comes to Social Security?
Had a call just today from a financial advisor. He had 2 clients in the office with him, and they were waiting until 70 to file for Social Security.
Okay.
It's a little bit unusual because the gentleman in the couple is a long-term police officer. So here he is, 70 years old, and he's going to keep working. And what they are overlooking is that they could have started their Social Security a little earlier. And in fact, we did some computation today, and they could get a $20,000 back payment if they go back 6 months on their Social Security.
Wow.
So they've got a decision to make today where the wife in the family is the higher earner and is approaching 70. Gee, should I wait 4 more months to 70 and take it then? Or should I take $20,000 lump sum? So
no kidding.
Every
Wow,
once in a while
that's
you run
great.
into something like that. Yeah.
What about myths out there that you hear people say about Social Security that they just have no idea that that's not how it works?
Oh, dear, there's so many. Probably the number one is that a lot of people think Social Security is based on the last 10 years of work. It's really based on your best 35 years of work.
Yeah.
So they're looking through your whole career and picking the highest 35 years, which means for some people it's really good news because you could retire a little earlier with zero earnings or lower earnings, say to part-time, whatever. It usually has very little impact on the Social Security payment. So you might be keeping your nose to the grindstone to try to pump up your Social Security a little higher, and it might have a lot less impact than you think. So there's places where you can do the numbers on that on the Social Security website, and it might pay off. Similarly, if you're in a married situation or you have an ex-spouse where you're married over 10 years, there's all kinds of cool timing tricks you can still do. Even after the changes in the laws a year ago, you can still do some cool timing tricks around your when do you file for one benefit, when do you file for the other. If you're eligible for 2 or 3 different kinds of benefits, and a lot of us are, then there's some cool tricks you can do. Yeah,
and last, to wrap up my time here with you, Andy, because I still hear out there Social Security is going away.
Yeah.
I know it's not. So can you share from your expert?
Yeah, this gets me upset. A lot of people think it's going away. It's broke. It's in the red. It's not operating in the red. It's got just a couple more years where it'll operate in the black, and it's got $2.8 trillion of reserves to draw from. So there's a lot of time left on Social Security as it is now. It should last as it is now till 2034. That's almost 2 decades out. And after that, it has 79% of the money it has to keep operating. So look for a 20% cut in 15 years if we don't fix it.
Sure.
But there's lots of time. It's not about to go broke. So lots of time. Yeah.
Andy, thank you so much again for joining me in studio and sharing your expertise with my listeners.
Thank you. Great to be here.
Coming up next in the Money Hour, how can you be a competitive buyer in today's real estate market? Jeff Dickinson with RE/MAX on the Lake right here in 1150 AM KKNW after this short break.